What's going on, guys? Ted from Immersion here, and I am going to be doing a quick review, I guess you could call it, of the Elderwood Academy Mini Spellbooks. So, right here in front of me, I have a standard, look at that wonderful custom branding, a standard spellbook. So the way these typically work, if you're completely unfamiliar, I'm not going to go over too much. But basically, you've got a felt line inside, you have a copper, brass, some sort of stainless reflecting pool in here, which is dry erase. You can write on here, track your hit points, whatever you want to do, spell slots. And then these are typically wide open with felt on the inside, and you can get a variety of different kind of foam inserts that fit different dice or card decks or minis. So this is a flagship Elderwood Academy product, and recently I actually unveiled, I guess at GenCon for the first time in person, were these, the mini spellbooks. So if you get a look, you can see the size of these things compared to the standard ones. And I'll pull in for some close-ups on these. But basically, what this looks like is I have one here that is just an open on both sides, right? So you can see this is just empty. You can see that it can clearly hold some dice, right? That's 4d6 in there right now, and it'll shut. No problem. But your dice, as I'm sure just blew out the microphone, shake around. So they offer them in the open setting. Here's a different version here. This is a 10 set. So this holds 10 individual dice. And then again, you can still have your rolling tray right here in the other side. They also offer a set that holds 7 dice and a mini. And I guess they do have these nice rare earth magnet closures on them. And you can kind of see it here. And I have a couple close-ups that I'll show you, but there are different thicknesses. So that's funny, the magnets are actually trying to catch together. But you can see there are different thicknesses in these. And that's to make up for wanting to hold a mini in there, right? Because as we know, minis aren't really a standard size. They're kind of bulky and bump out in different spots. I've got the top half of a UNT mini here. So this will fit nicely in here. It'll close up. But yeah, you're going to want something a little bit bulkier and thicker to hold your mini inside rather than just a set of dice. So these, if you did manage to pick one up at GenCon or you are looking at these, they were the prototype versions, sort of a beta, and they went through multiple different iterations just of those. And I think I actually have some pictures of those as well. I'll be putting those over the screen. But essentially, if you put a die in here, it may be harder to get out. So they tried lowering the inset, the honeycomb here on the inside, tried lowering that, tried raising up the bottom, adding in foam inserts. So all of these things are betas that are being figured out for the Kickstarter that will be launching later this year, where you'll be able to pick those up for yourself. As you can see here, this clock here, this is a custom design. This was for an ongoing joke I had with Quentin from Elderwood Academy. But again, as you can see here with the Nerd Immersion one, you can get custom art and custom foil colors, right? You can see this one here has the teal foil with a gold Elderwood logo in the middle. You can do two-tone on the color. You can do custom designs. These are all things that are available to you. You're just going to have to pay for that and reach out and let them know that that's what you want. Another thing I will say is if you are planning to join the Kickstarter later this year, you may want to jump in on that because they offer sometimes unique and special designs and woods that would not be normally attainable. So I feel like for most of these products, your standard woods are going to be like a cherry, maybe a pine or a walnut, and like a purple heart, and that's going to be your standard wood colors, right? You've got your kind of your really low tier, your sort of middle tier that's a little bit darker, and then your kind of exotic would be like your purple heart, right? But if you want to have something cool like Padak or Wenge or, I don't know, I want to say there's different kinds of like zebra wood and all these different kinds of woods out there, and I'm not, I do a lot of woodworking, but I'm not an expert by any means. They're usually only offered in the Kickstarter. So if you want to get those, like for instance, this looks like a walnut here, and this is a Wenge, for example. So if you want to get a unique wood, typically your chances are best to get it in the Kickstarter because based on what's most popular is what they'll usually narrow the options down to maybe 5 going forward when you go to buy one on the website after the fact, but the Kickstarter pretty much has almost all of them open. So typically, better to look for your unique designs on the Kickstarter for wood choices. But yeah, I'm very curious what you guys think, right? We saw the mini hex chests earlier in the year, and now we've seen the mini spellbooks. So out of all of the Elderwood products, that's two of the major flagships, right? The spellbook and the hex chest reduced down to miniature size, which is pretty cool if you have a mini or a set or two of dice that you like to use, and you'd want to keep those kind of specially, or you want to lower, like I have a dice box, a spell book that you can kind of see right here. This is the one I use every week. It is full of dice, and honestly, I probably only use maybe one set out of the 3 or 4 sets that are in here. So if I was trying to do maybe travel or go to a convention or something like that, maybe just the ones that'll fit inside one of these little mini boxes would be the ideal one for me. That way I can kind of reduce, what I'm carrying with me. And I am curious. So actually, check that out. If you wanted to carry your mini spellbooks, it looks like 2 mini spellbooks will fit inside a standard spellbook. Although the larger ones that I was telling you about that hold the minis, those will not close inside here because they stick up a little too high for the inside lip. But yeah, are you guys going to be joining the Kickstarter? Did you manage to pick up one of the limited stock that they had at GenCon? I'm curious what your thoughts. And my next question is, the other sort of flagship Elderwood product is the Codex Dice Tower, right? We've got it right here. Put your dice through it. My thoughts, next product that they should do in the mini version is a mini one of these. We've got a mini spellbook. I think we could cut this down to maybe half the size. A tiny little dice tower to go with your tiny spellbook and your tiny hex chest. Seems like a no-brainer to me, but I'm curious what you guys think. And if we can get enough people to say that that's what we want, I'm pretty sure that's enough reason that I can convince Quentin and Dan to make that a possibility. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.